Hello there, my name's Stuart. I'm one of the owners of Inspired Inspirations, the touchscreen activity table people. We supply touchscreen activity tables to the care and education sector. Today I'm going to be briefly running through with you how to use touchscreen devices with residents in care homes, more particularly with varying forms of dementia. First of all, I'm just going to explain very briefly the device I'm going to be using today. It's called our fixed height touchscreen activity table because it's fixed at seated height. As you can see there, it's on wheels. You've got a double wall steel base there, which houses a great big battery. So you've got no trip hazards. You charge it up and away you go for the day. And then, as you can see here, you can flip the screen from landscape to portrait ever so easily, so you can use a range of applications. Now, it works on an Android 10 based software system, and the screen itself is absolutely solid, so it is designed for the most robust care environment. You've got all sorts of different connectivity as well, so you can connect all sorts of different devices up to it to make sure that your residents can really enhance their experience within your care home using technology. So I'm going to try and cover as many of the points as possible. I'm never going to cover them all in the time that I've got, so I will speak quite quickly to get through them all. But just to give you a little bit of background, we started off in the education industry, in particular with nurseries and preschools. We were asked to come into the care sector because of the limited technology that there is available. So based on feedback from managers, as well as a report done by Worcester University in using iPads within the care settings, we thought that there was a huge gap in the market for a product like this. Now, myself and my business partner have been in well over 1,000 care homes across the UK, so we've got a huge amount of experience working directly with the residents, as well as a lot of the demonstrations and the work the rest of our team has done. One thing our experience has taught us over the last few years is to look for the twinkle in the eye and the smile on the face of any resident we're working with. Likewise, when we're doing training with staff on how to really get the most out of the touchscreen activity tables, that's what we teach them to look for. And we really do believe that our tables don't just enhance a resident's mental well-being, but emotionally and physically as well. Now, even the residents with the more advanced signs of dementia can get use out of the tables, and this is where finding things on the internet, using various applications to find things that are familiar to them, you will get engagement. And this is what we're going to run through. Now, first of all, we call it the good old days when we used to be able to go into care homes and work directly with residents. We call it the good old days because we genuinely really enjoyed it. We learned so much about what residents' needs and wants are. Okay, and what we found is you wheel up a great big unit to a resident, and the first reaction is a little bit nervous. They don't like technology, they've not grown up from an era of technology, and their body language can kind of ease away like that, as if to keep that technology away from me. I'm not used to it, I'm not interested. So what we'd always do is we'd start off with some sensory applications. Now, first of all the applications I'm going to show you on this unit are on the Google Play Store, so you can download them for yourself. Everything I've got on here is free to download as well. Now, we'd always start off with some sensory applications, as I said, so the resident can easily move their hand around, see that it's not going to hurt them, they're not going to hurt the screen, and you can use various different sensory applications to show this, as well as some quite nice calming applications. This one is called Magic Fluids. It's ever so nice and easy to use. You turn it on, you move a hand around the screen. You don't have to use your fingertips, you can use knuckles or a stylus pen, any part of your skin to use it. Okay, and it's just a nice, easy application to get people comfortable with the technology. From there, we tend to move on to something called Bubble Bliss. Okay, again, you can download this off the Google Play Store. Now, I haven't got the sound turned on for this because the music is really irritating, but within your care home, you may want to turn it on, and all it is popping bubbles. It's ever so addictive because the bubbles just keep on coming. So it's really good for all different stages of dementia. Personally, my favourite activity to do with a resident within a care home is Google Earth. So you can jump on Google Earth. I'm sure you've used Google Earth plenty of times yourself already. You can go anywhere in the world that the Google car has been. Now, this is fantastic for reminiscence. Now, again, you can use this for all different varying levels of dementia. So if you've got a resident with the early sort of signs of dementia, they can still remember where they used to live, where they grew up. My favourite question to ask was where they used to go on holiday. And all you do is you click anywhere that's blue and you can zoom straight in, and you can walk down the street as though you're there yourself. And you can sit there with a resident and you can start going down the street and they'll start telling you some wonderful stories. Okay, again, this can be done with residents of all stages of dementia. Now, what it's used for is either one-to-one activities where you'll sit there with a resident one-to-one and you'll talk through their background. It might be easing a resident into their new care environment, or a lot of care homes, what they'll do is they'll do group reminiscence afternoons. Now, again, this is really good for the early stages of dementia because some of the residents will be able to remember where they lived, where they grew up, where they got married, where they used to go on holiday, where the children lived, etc., etc., etc. Now, one of the things that we really do stress is if your residents are at later stages of dementia, then you need to contact family members and find out key places that are really important to your residents. Now, we've got countless examples of when we used to go into care homes ourselves, working with residents with the later stages of dementia to get some engagement. Now, another activity that is absolutely fantastic for residents of all abilities is being able to go on YouTube. Now, you don't have to use one of these to be able to go on YouTube, as you know. You can use your smart TV if you have them in your care home. Okay, but being able to use YouTube comes with all sorts of different benefits. Obviously, you've got your music therapy, which from our experience has been huge for residents with early stages of dementia up to the later stages of dementia. Now, what we do is if we were to go into a care home and discuss this with the staff and with the residents in a bit more detail, we'd only spend 5-10 minutes running through the table, okay, before then asking to meet the resident with more challenging behaviour. The reason that we'd ask to see a more challenging resident is because that's where the staff would see the biggest difference in the use of the technology. From that, we'd use Sentry applications. We'd then jump on Google Earth for 5-10 minutes with a resident and find some places that are important to them. We'd then be straight into YouTube. Now, YouTube comes with all sorts of different videos, as you know. Okay, what we'd start off with is we'd start off with our favourite singer.
Interested in this? No, there are lots of trees. That's a school, is it?
If the resident, for whatever reason, isn't the biggest fan of music, okay, we'd then be finding other key parts that are really important to them. I remember a gentleman in particular in Worcester where we'd done some activities with a number of the residents in the living room. The gentleman in the wheelchair, he was adamant he hates technology, he didn't want to be anywhere near it, he wasn't interested. So we left the table in the living room, we were just about to go into the office to discuss further with the manager. But before we went in, I was determined to have a quick chat with the gentleman, just see if there's anything that we could get the gentleman to engage with. He assured me, he was adamant, I do not like technology, don't you worry about it, young man. Now, while I was there, I just said to him, well, what do you like? And it turns out he loved steam engines. Okay, he said, I've been on every single steam engine journey in the United Kingdom bar one. So obviously I asked him which steam engine journey he hadn't been on, and it turns out it was a steam engine journey up in the Highlands in Scotland. Okay, we then had a little discussion about it, and while we're talking, I've jumped onto YouTube and I'm finding that steam engine journey, and it turns out that there is a documentary on it. So I popped it on YouTube, I left it there with him, I said, it's up to you, sir, if you'd like to have a look at it. If not, I won't be offended at all. By the time we'd finished with the manager, come back in to collect the table, the gentleman there had the biggest beaming smile on his face, and he said, I can now tell everyone that I've seen every single steam engine journey in the United Kingdom. But it isn't just for hobbies like that, you've got all of your past and present sporting fixtures. So we're now going to just run through a couple of clips of the touchscreen activity tables being used with the music therapy, kind of going on to having sing-alongs and then on to the dance element as well. Obviously this is going to be used for residents with kind of early to mid stages of dementia, but just generally just having some real good fun with the entertainment aspects of it. And then that leads us on really, really nicely into the next element we're going to discuss, which is exercise.
I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Already loved.
We all know the benefits of physical exercise, not just for us physically, but for our mental well-being as well. Now, the care homes that are really using the touchscreen activity tables with their residents physically are reporting back real improvements in residents' mood. Now, you don't have to go far online to find videos to help you with this. So you've got videos as well as different applications that are specific for exercise for the elderly. Now, it's not doing a full body workout as though you're training to be in the Marines, okay, but there are archives out there for residents of all abilities, okay, even as much as hand exercises, so when the resident's seated and they just want to improve their mobility, get the blood circulation going. Hand exercises, exercises for the elderly, even yoga for the elderly, okay? Even as much as if you want to get your residents up and dancing, obviously that's going to make a massive difference as well. So sticking with the physical exercise element for a moment, going to kind of move on to how to use some of the applications to aid physiotherapy, movement, and encourage your residents to move more within the chair. So back to being in the good old days when we go into care homes, we'd always encourage residents who are sat back a little bit to lean forward, touch the screen, move things around, do the activity they're doing on the screen, lean back, lean forward, etc., etc. Now, where it's good with residents if they've had any sort of major illness, or varying stages of dementia, or even if they've had a stroke, the left-hand side of their body doesn't work so well, is encouraging the movement is obviously going to benefit them down the line. Now, one of the best apps for doing this is the Jigsaw app. So there's loads of different Jigsaw apps out there on the Play Store. Okay, this one personally is my favourite. It's called Real Jigsaw. And you've got loads of different options to choose from, really nice pictures. Animals is great. Resident chooses the favourite animal. If you click on them, let's pretend it's the bear. And you can make the jigsaw as complicated or as easy as you like. Okay, you then click start. It creates the jigsaw for you. And then with a little bit of assistance with your residents, or if your residents at early stages of dementia, they might be quite happy doing this on their own. You can then move the pieces around into the white box and create the picture. Now, where this is really good is start off with your easy jigsaws first, just 9 pieces, okay, and get your residents getting loads of confidence. Then as the jigsaw is completed, you get nice congratulations in a big cup, and you also get a time in which it's been done. Now, if you're really, really smart with your table, what you can do is you swipe down, see a little camera icon there, and that takes a screenshot. Now, what the best homes are doing when they're using this technology with the residents is they're keeping that screenshot as evidence for the activity that's been done, and they're collating a range of scores and times in which a resident has done their activities in, and they're keeping track of them. So as time goes on, they can sit there with Mary, for example, say, oh, come on, Mary, you've just done that in 16 seconds. When you first started doing a 9-piece jigsaw, it would take you 4 minutes. You're getting so much better. Let's make it a bit more difficult for you. And that's where you physically see the confidence come out of the residents that, yes, they are getting better at an activity. They are pretty good on technology, and they're a lot more competent than they either think they are or have been made to think that they are. So another great activity to promote physical movement and your hand-eye coordination is a word search. Now, we get reports from care homes up and down the country where using word searches with residents is really beneficial. Not just because it's fun and they want to enjoy a word search, but particularly for residents who struggle with their hands nowadays. They can't use a pen like they used to. They always used to enjoy a word search. What you can do is you can pop a word search on a great big screen like this. Choose the category that you like, keep it nice and easy to begin with to build confidence, and then all you do is you have your list of your words there, and then a nice big board here to stretch up and choose the words off there. Again, it's timed, so you can take a screenshot of when the resident has completed it and then monitor their progress, and you should see improvements as well. Now, another lovely activity to do with almost all of your residents, particularly early to mid stages of those with dementia, is a piano app or another musical instrument that you can download. Now, my personal favourite piano app is called Perfect Piano, because you have your normal piano within there where they can think away and create a tune, or you can click here on Learn to Play, and then you have a huge range of songs here that you can choose from to play. And then all you do, you can click on there, and it's great to do in a group activity where you can sit there with a resident, and then as the music comes down, and it's great for happy birthday as well. It's someone's birthday, you can play happy birthday together, you get a score at the end, and the real competitive residents, they always want to get a little bit better. But again, it's good for the hand-eye coordination. You can have a member of staff sat here, you can have your other resident there, and you can be playing along together and recording the progress as they go. So the next activity that I'm going to cover regarding using a touchscreen activity table for residents with dementia is memory games, various different brain training games that you can download. One of my personal favourites is by a developer called Tell Me Wow. They have a range of games called Tell Me Wow Senior Games. Again, you can download this on any tablet that you've got to trial it, and these are specifically designed for the elderly. Okay, now if you have a look here, I've just opened up the memory game. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different games that you've got on here. And a great game to start off with is just nice and simple, it's 2-pair. Now where this has worked really, really well in a care environment myself is where I've been doing some work with a resident, and I'm asking things on Google Earth, like where do you used to live? If you were to go anywhere in the world, where would you like to go? Where was your favourite place to go on holiday, etc., etc. And I would get the sort of reaction where they were looking a bit troubled on the face, and typically they'd be saying things like, don't you worry, love, I'm losing my memory, don't ask me questions like this, my memory's not quite what it used to be. What to do is I bring them on this app, so well, the good news is it's probably not as bad as you think it is, and you've just got to watch where the cards were and then flip them over. And they'll be a little bit tentative to begin with, but as time goes on they get a little bit more confident. Okay, and if they get one wrong, it flips back, find the fish, get the fish, and then you do that. And then it goes through and it gets progressively more and more and more difficult. And again, you can take a screenshot, you can record their scores, you can see as they improve. But it's really, really good, again, to see the body language of the resident change.
Touch one. Right, where's the other one? Where?
Frank Sinatra.
Is it? Keep going.
Yes, Sinatra.
We don't know quite how widespread.
Now, we are running out of time, so just very quickly, a load of other activities that you're able to do with your residents is board games. Any hobbies that they've got, there's an application for it. Someone has made an app for it and it's on the Google Play Store. You've got your creativity apps as well, where you can do artwork on the table, paint it by numbers, cross-stitch by numbers. Whatever the resident has completed, you can take a screenshot of it, print it off and hand it to the resident, and they've got something for what they've done. You've got real basic sort of drawing applications as well for residents with the more basic needs. You've got all your other sort of applications to do with your board games, card games and things like that. You can even have pub nights and theme nights and competitive games, air hockey. You can have residents playing games against each other or against the computer, or if you're really smart, against someone else over the internet. And with every touchscreen activity table that's ordered from us, we include a setting up guide which is emailed over a couple of days before it's delivered to ensure that your staff are going to be really comfortable in getting the most use out of it. The more comfortable your staff are, the more enjoyment your residents are going to have. From that, they can even book in ongoing training, which is completely free. We don't charge for it, and your staff can book in as many times as they like until they're fully comfortable. We also include a list of the most used apps within a care environment, and there's all sorts of different applications on there. We haven't even covered all the different relaxation apps that can be used as well. On top of that, we also give a 7-day activity planner, which I'll show in this video very briefly, so you can have an idea as to how much use touchscreen activity tables can have within a care environment, and in particular a dementia care environment.
On this day of celebration and excitement, make us aware of your continuing.
Thank you very much for your time watching this video. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you'd like any more information whatsoever, visit our website, inspired-inspirations.com, where you can find us on all the different social media channels, Inspired Inspirations. Ask us a question on there and we'll do whatever we can to help you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.